I can give it to you. That's why I'm making this video. It's for help. It's for the people that struggle with this. I know you can get hemorrhages to the point. It's the thing. Can you, what are hemorrhages? Well, when you have so much head tension, and like if I demonstrate, so you have so much head tension, and you keep just pushing on your head. Your head's throbbing. You're trying to get that shit out. What you're trying to get, a minority of it is already processed, broken down, and synthesized, but a majority of it is not and it's still stuck in the gastrointestinal tract. So because of that, I cannot utilize it as energy. Energy cannot be released. Energy cannot be required. Thing that happens is that poop, screw my mouth language, shit, cannot come out. Unless you're stressing out, only a little bit comes out, and then the rest is stuck up there because the tension is it's really bad. You have hemorrhage too. That's really bad. And you usually have bleeding shit. Yeah, you're bleeding shit, bleeding out of your ass. Yeah, it's not something good to think about. It's the reality, though. I've been through this. I know many people that have gone through this. If you're going on this video, you most like you've been through this. So I'm doing this video just for you guys mainly. You want to make sure that the bargain foods, the foods high nutrition value, you get to a point where you're carbohydrate sensitive, anti-calorie sensitive, where you can store it as fat to gradually increase caloric deficit. You burn the fat off, whether it's intermittent fasting, way longer time, laying a longer duration to eat, or just changing and adjusting which time you eat, or it's end cutting, you burn off the fat, you get the fat off, increase your basal metabolic rate, your caloric intake, high in bulk foods, high in nutritional value. You get to a point where you can burn off the food, you can utilize the energy and keep making more metabolites so you can eat more. You get to a point, a hypocaloric state, you have less calories, to a hypercaloric state, we can be eating more foods, high in nutritional value, high in bulk foods, and you can be utilizing it, you can be burning it off right at the point, storing it as fat, you're storing it as energy, you can be burning it off, utilizing it more and digesting more, and utilizing it, burning it off, and create more metabolites to make the point where you're metabolically actively is the description of your basal metabolic rate. The active, I mean metabolites, usually inactive when the functions and processes do not happen well. So we go through the science of the body again. Constipation, inflammations, and bloating is something that I made a video about first when I started my YouTube account. I was like, do a video about constipation, inflammations, and bloating. That was the time my nutrition was not as good. I wouldn't say my nourishment was as good as, right here. Like in the morning, I'm eating like peanut butter with oatmeal. With also some dried fruits. And some walnuts. Well, just through any nut, basically. But I make sure that my diet consists of micronutrients, macrominerals, and vitamins, a balance of that. And it consists of micronutrients too, protein, carbohydrates, and soluble fiber, of carbohydrates, protein, monounsaturated fats, and omega-3 fats. Make sure you have a balanced diet, a balanced nourishment that you want. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking through for me. No, not sticking for me, sticking with me this long. It means a lot. That's why I'm going to make specifically that video about insoluble fiber, about all types of fiber, things that can be found hyacinth, and probiotics too. We're going to be looking on that. And also on fruit, yeah, high source of probiotics. But anyways, that's in a separate video. Okay, so we want good nourishment, balance of micronutrients, macronutrients, vitamins that get out of the gastrointestinal tract swiftly, as I like to say. And there's not this dense blockage. They get fully digested. We don't have any complication. We don't have any problems within the gastrointestinal tract. We get onto the gastrointestinal tract, and it's fully digested. There's not this dense blockage. It can be broken down, synthesized process. Energy can be released, and we can acquire the amount of energy for your basal metabolic rate to make metabolites. When you're metabolically inactive to metabolically active, when you're creating more metabolites than usual, you'll have a point where you're storing the food rather as fat because you can't burn off, and you burn it off and utilize it as energy, and store as energy, keep burning off, making more metabolites from that point on. But you need good nourishment, and so it's crucial in something biosynthesis. What is biosynthesis? It's muscle fibers going from simple to complex, small to large, more of a low capacity growth to a higher capacity grow. More muscle fiber to recruitment, which leads to more muscle tone, muscular hypertrophy, and in return to that, leads to more vascularity to more muscle tone, and muscular hypertrophy, muscular gain. It's important because there's many processes and functions of metabolism that I talk about. There's many concepts and many things that I talk about on this channel, many subjects. But ultimately, let's avoid this, guys. Don't even get the dense foods in there at the first point. Don't even get the fats in there. It's not even good for your cholesterol. It's not even good for. Oh, what? Your heart? Oh no, it's not good for your heart. And especially if you what makes a person obese? Because it cannot burn off the carbohydrates. They cannot burn off the empty calories. They gain in fat. That's what makes them obese. That's what makes them overweight. That is the science of the body. Is that something that I want you guys to understand? Is that I stress on a daily basis when foods get broken down, processed, synthesized energy can be released to require amount of energy for your basal metabolic rate to make metabolics to the point where you're metabolically inactive to metabolically after. You have micronutrients, macronutrients, and vitamins that you need, and they're not being half digested, being fully digested. You have good digestion, and so that anabolism can require the amount of energy for your basal metabolic rate to make metabolites that are crucial in the growth, reproduction, and development of muscle fibers. Muscle fibers need more energy to go from simple to small to complex. If they don't have the nourishment, they don't have the energy. They stay at small to simple, never go to complex, more of a higher capacity to grow. They never move on to muscle fiber type 2, as we're talking about that more that have a higher capacity to grow that we talk about anyways in breast fitness. Well, good blood circulation, and along with the fats, saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, with the lipids, with the foods high in cholesterol. It's not good for your heart and your liver too. I talk about in the heart and the liver video. So we got time. What's omega-3 fatty acids? Omega-3 fatty acids, alpha linoleic acids. Omega-6 fatty acids is linoleic acids, and let's go from 9 right now. So 9 is omega-9 fatty acids, which is, again, the 9 one. And because it's the 9, it's just oleic acid rather than linoleic acid, so it just goes from oleic acids. And usually it tells the amount of carbons that are being made. Omega-3 fatty acids have about 3 fatty acids. Omega-9 fatty acids have 9 carbons going in. Omega-7 have 7 carbons. Omega-6 have 6 carbons in the group. This goes with the science of the body that I love to talk about, that I love to preach. Anyways, we're going from omega-6 fatty acids, which is part of the polyunsaturated fat group. So you have like this family. Oh yeah, this cool family. Anyways, there's many fats, and I talked about it in basically all my videos for you guys. But let's talk about it more. So omega-9. So what is omega-7 fatty acids? Which group is omega-7 fatty acids part of? It's part of the monounsaturated fats group. Omega-6 fatty acids is part of the polyunsaturated fat group, as higher in cholesterol and a buildup of LDL bad cholesterol, a blood plasma lipoprotein that is high in cholesterol delivers cholesterol to the body cells and muscle tissue that deteriorates the body cells and muscle tissue, and it breaks them down even at that. So the same goes for fat. So this is something that you need to understand, especially this is not a cholesterol video, but I want to make sure you want the natural cholesterol. You want the cholesterol that is made in the liver. The liver also stores sugar for you to use and utilize as energy and to burn off and keep growing your basal metabolic rate. So understanding the liver, understanding the organs is something major in understanding increasing your basal metabolic rate. But this is not increasing your basal metabolic rate video. I will make that. It's something that I've come across on. I'm fairly interested in it. Anyways, alright, so omega-7 fatty acids too are part of the monounsaturated fats group. Omega-3 fatty acids, and usually they have HDL2, which is good cholesterol instead of bad cholesterol. So it's a low plasma liver protein that is low in cholesterol rather than a blood plasma liver protein that is high in cholesterol. So it's low in cholesterol too. So it's again having a balance of everything. Omega-9 fatty acids are not needed. By any means, they are not needed. Omega-9 fatty acids, but omega-9 fatty acids, they're like eucraic acids, and if we talk about omega-7 fatty acids, monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, they're not something needed. It's something major in decreasing your cholesterol, so you prevent things like premature death, bad liver function, and liver failure, even at that. So you don't have diabetes, you don't have premature death, you don't have type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, you have liver failure, you don't have narrowed arteries. What's narrowed arteries? When the cholesterol
is not flowing correctly, and when it's really narrowed, and you have all this unnatural cholesterol, you have all these lipids, saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, foods, a blood plasma protein that is high in cholesterol rather than low in cholesterol, wholly increases your cholesterol. And when it's not flowing correct with the natural cholesterol, there's not enough natural cholesterol that is being made. But you're overpowering that with so much unnatural cholesterol, you're going to get narrowed arteries. LDL, bad cholesterol, high cholesterol. LDL, a blood plasma protein that is high in cholesterol. You get all these things that you guys you have to understand. Premature death, dying at a moment that you did not even know, you're not aware of it, it happens. Something that I think nobody wants to go through. And this is something that health is not valued till sickness comes. It's a quote that I've got off the internet. Got it off the internet, yeah. It's what Brian Fitness does, he gets it off the internet. We got it off the internet. It's a good quote. I mean, I live by it every day. If I would speak about it, but that's it. So the micronutrients, microminerals, vitamins get down the esophagus, the gastrointestinal tract, fully digested, broken down, processed, synthesized. In return, that energy is released to you as a metabolic rate. You can require amount of energy necessary to make metabolites and the functions that happen. You make more metabolites, which is crucial for your basal metabolic rate. Make metabolites. So a good point when you're metabolically inactive, carbohydrate sensitive, empty calorie sensitive. You cannot burn off, and you store it, utilize it as fat. You go increase your basal metabolic rate, increase your caloric intake and foods high in nutrition value. And bargain foods, nutrients, microminerals. So you have the energy, so you have the nutrition, and you can burn off, you can digest more food, burn off, utilize the energy, and create more metabolites and metabolically active. You get to a point where you creating more metabolites, you burn it off, utilize the energy, you can digest more food, get it to a hypocaloric state. And this is something major, so you can burn off, you get to a point where you cannot burn off to where you can burn off, utilize the energy, and store it as energy, and burn that off, and keep utilizing storing it as energy, so you can keep growing, reproducing, developing your metabolites. Most fibers go from simple to complex. Catabolic breakdowns the food's high nutrition value. The bargain foods breaks it down, processes it, synthesizes it, energy is released from that point on. Anabolism is requiring the energy that's already broken down. So from the food, if the food is never broken down, energy is not released, and energy cannot be required from that point on. It's only major that's dependent on one another. That video was about constipation, bloating inflammations. It's a video that really relates back to me. Many people, I know, many people go through this. They're like, oh, laxative, yes. Let's just do that. Let's do the laxatives. That just puts so much stress on your gastrointestinal tract. And that point, where it's just that you're not relying on the natural stuff like insoluble fiber, probiotics that was intended so you can break that dense blockage. You're using laxatives, artificial way to break that dense blockage, to break the lipids, saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, carbohydrate dense and rich, protein dense and rich foods. So it can be fully digested. You can have digestion, so you're not constipated, you're not bloated too. When you have that blockage, and the food cannot be delivered down the gastrointestinal tract because that blockage is way too much. So you're relying on laxatives to forcefully get that stuff out. And they're really powerful. And this is the thing about it. Since they're really powerful, I mean, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber probiotics are not as powerful. I mean, they're in foods that we eat on a daily basis. So if we just rely on that rather than laxatives, then we have good digestion. We have a healthy gastrointestinal tract, and we make sure that everything is kind of intact. We take care of our body. So laxatives, using artificial stuff, whether it's through having insulin sensitivity, insulin resistance, which is when the hormone insulin is made in the pancreas, is formed in the pancreas. It's major. It's the major one for regulating, for stabilizing blood glucose level, blood sugar. We're talking about this health. Why not? We've got time to put this in the video. It's not something needed in the video, but anyways. So when you have a carbohydrate intake, whether it's too low or too high, your blood glucose level is too high or too low, that means the hormone insulin cannot be made and cannot regulate, it cannot stabilize your blood glucose level because it's too high or too low. It has to be at a constant rate. So actually it can work with glucagon, the hormone glucagon, which is major in stabilizing, controlling blood sugar. So there's not any blood sugar spikes too, so you don't have a corrupted amount of carbohydrates, which this leads to what is that type 1 diabetes. I'm gonna talk about this because I have time to. What fuck is that? Woof. Type 1 diabetes is when your blood glucose level
either have the carbohydrate intake that's too high or too low. But insulin is stably made, but it's kind of hard for it to be made, produced, and formed in the pancreas because of your blood glucose level. But that's when you can just control it. Keep your carbohydrate intake at kind of a stall, kind of the same amount. And when you get it on the same amount, with glucogen and insulin, they can regulate and stabilize your blood glucose levels. Type 2 diabetes is when, what is type 2 diabetes? When it's way too corrupted, or way too high, or too low beyond the point where insulin cannot be made. When it's not being made, produced, and formed in the pancreas, we cannot rely on glucagon. It's not the main hormone that is main for regulating and stabilizing blood sugar. So we have to rely on insulin shots at that point to relieve it and stabilize and control our blood glucose level when it's too out of control. So you basically use that. You're like, oh yeah, I have a lot of carbohydrates here, or not even enough carbohydrates. So what that does is just you get the insulin, the hormone insulin. You can just rely on that to control and stabilize your blood glucose level. You can keep doing that, but you're not even changing what you eat. You're not changing. You don't even care about your health. You're getting low blood sugar, high blood sugar, hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia. Something that I wanted to talk about today. We got the video done. I'll be editing this. In my meantime, Brian Stecker Fitness out. Love you guys. Thanks for the support so far. It's been an amazing journey on Brian Stecker Fitness. We'll make a new video soon. We gotta edit this. Shit. Oh, shit. It's gonna take a while to edit. Well, edit into 2 videos.